Now we're going to start to look at the lumbar. So for the lumbar, we're going to start with hip hinging. Forward fold. Round the back up. Hip hinge down, round the back up. Hip hinge down, round the back up. And then we have the opposite. We have round the back, down, extension, flexion, extension, flexion. We're making these small motions initially. Now, let's increase our range of motion. We're going to bend the knees. We're going to hip hinge, hip hinge, hip hinge, hip hinge. From here, our pelvis is going to move forward, which creates a fulcrum. And now we're coming to extension in the back. Hip hinge, hip hinge, hip hinge. So now the spine is staying in extension. And we're using our pelvis to lead the movement. Good. Now we're going to add a piece to this. We're going to rotate. As we rotate, if I rotate to the left, the right leg is going to drive up. Neutral. Hip hinge. Rotate right, left leg drives. Now what's important here, this motion, is that the axis of the spine is continually to move in the sagittal plane. And we've got the rotary forces that are acting on the spine in rotation that are maintaining in this sagittal plane. Because if not, what happens is we start to rotate around. And so then I'm actually using coronal plane muscles to do that. Let's give you a different view, straight on from the front. Remember the neck movement? This is the neck movement, right? That may be too sophisticated. Let's forward, rotate, neutral, forward, rotate the opposite side. Sometimes my nervous system automatically goes into more challenging motions. Next, we're going to start to look at this relationship of coronal plane movement now that we've done sagittal and transverse. We're going to start with one hand on our dantian, on our abdomen, right below the navel. Thumb to occiput. Back of fingers to back of head. Reaching up, up and over. Up and over. Up and over. Up and over. Good. Later in the program, we're going to add another motion to that. Now let's put all this together. We're going to hip hinge. Elbow becomes a fulcrum in the side, and we're going to come around to the side. And then we'll come over to the opposite side, into the opposite fulcrum, and we'll start to make a circle. We're going to include that back portion. And there's always two directions, so we'll switch direction. Good.